Last week, we discovered that text posts work best on LinkedIn, but the question is, which works better, long form or short form text posts? Our social media scientists dug into the facts, and we're going to reveal the answers of what we found to you today. But first, what's your flavor? What do you like better on LinkedIn, the longer or the shorter form posts? Let us know in the comment section below. Can't wait to dig in with you today. It's Social Media Lab Live.
Are you ready to use science to bust some myths in the social media ecosystem? Welcome to the Social Media Lab Live, brought to you by Agorapulse, where our social media scientists experiment on real accounts to crack the code on social media success for your business.
Type 5 to subscribe to the show.
Now your hosts, Owen Video and Scott Ayres.
Welcome back to the Social Media Lab Live. I'm Owen, video marketing coach and live host extraordinaire, here with you as usual with my content scientist expert friend Scott Ayres, and we're live every week on Facebook and YouTube, and you can subscribe to the show on Facebook when you type 5 into the comment section right now. That's right, give me 5 in the comment section right now if you're watching on Facebook. That will subscribe you to the show. If you're watching us on YouTube, welcome to the party, YouTube. We're doing a lot of work to really build up that platform, so it's exciting. It's exciting that we've got some viewers on YouTube right now. Remember to subscribe to the channel so that you can join us every week. And hey, if you're watching us on the replay, type replay so we can jump back into the comment sections and say hello to you. Ladies and gentlemen, please like bomb the heck out of this video for my co-host today. He's content scientist, hair enthusiast, and with data the grooviest, he's my friend, Scott Ayres, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Ayres. Give it up. Great to have you on the show.
I brought some hairspray today. Make my hair look perfect.
Scott Ayres is really...
Scott Ayres.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's something.
I actually did. I whipped. It smells in my office now from all the hairspray, and I got the comb out.
Don't light a match.
We're good.
Don't light a match.
Good thing I don't smoke.
Yeah, I know. That Aquanet can be a doozy. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I remember, yeah. How many of you guys ever back in the day, you ever did like the torch with the hairspray? My sister used Aquanet. We grew up during the wet look, right? We grew up in Long Beach, California. It's like an inner city, right? It's a nice city. It's kind of got a downtown feel to it. And my mom had the VO5, right? VO5. So I remember doing like little VO5s would do like poof, right? Like it wouldn't do the whole like CFC spray thing, right? So I remember doing like this puff, puff, and my mom flipped out because VO5 was the good stuff. You know what I mean? Right. It was like the expensive hairspray. So I don't know. I don't know, Scott.
You try this at home. Yeah. Yeah. This is not sponsored by the show.
In no way. Yeah, in no way are we condoning. Even though the hair sort of looks like a flame. It sort of looks like flame on, and I think that's
it is.
That's pretty. That's pretty.
Somebody the other day told me I look like the villain on the Incredibles cartoon.
Oh my God!
You've ever seen the Incredibles?
Yes.
Yeah, it's that kind of hair. Yeah.
That was Earl. Earl was the voice of that guy, right?
Yeah.
What was the guy's name? Earl. No, I remember like that show. You Can Call Me Earl, right? That guy, Jason Lee, I think, was the voice of the villain on The Incredibles.
Was he really?
What was the name of the villain, guys? Do you guys remember? It'll come to me in like 4 minutes, and I'll be in the middle of an interview, and it'll be like, "Oh, yeah,
yeah."
Oh
That's
man,
usually how it is.
Scott, great to be with you here again, and we're going to be off for the next couple of weeks because we've got some traveling to do.
Right.
You're going on vacation with your family, and then we've got Social Media Marketing World in San Diego, so we'll be at the convention center for that. So you're excited then, pretty much, right?
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever gone to social media marketing or even gone to California, so it'll be a all new thing for me. So hopefully I don't, turn into a Californian. As a good Texan, I can't do that.
No, it's hard.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna be running around with the orange hair and the lab coat at Social Media Marketing World. So if you see me, grab me, take a selfie. It'll be fun. I'll definitely stand out. You'll be able to notice me.
Yeah. Hey, mention the show.
A bunch of us from Agorapulse are going to be there.
Yeah, Agorapulse was there in fine style last year. Social Media Marketing World is one of those conferences that I attend every single year. In fact, I'll be speaking there. I'm doing a great session on the first and last editing class you'll ever need. for really about business video editing, repurposing your live streams and getting up on Instagram and that sort of thing. Really loved the community there. I loved hanging out with Emmerich, CEO of Agorapulse. We shot some videos there last year. So if you're going to social media marketing world, let us know in the comment section. And don't forget to answer today's trivia question or today's question of the day. Which works better for you? What do you like better, long form or short form posts on LinkedIn? Do you ever, because I know how you can go scroll through LinkedIn and you see sort of this miniature blog on someone's post and you're like, skip, right. TLDR. What do you like better, Scott? Like, what personally, do you like the short form or the longer form better?
I'm like you. I want to skim. I want to read it real quick, especially if you're doing it on the mobile. Something really long, I've got to tap this and go through it, and then somebody texts me or something and I don't pay attention. So yeah, I tend to like the shorter content on all the social networks, but
yeah, I do too. I
have seen a lot of longer form content on LinkedIn lately. So that's why we thought this would be a pretty interesting test to do.
I do. You know who's doing long form on Facebook? Maybe it's the wrong thing, is Mark Schaefer. He sort of blogs on Facebook and he'll write Facebook notes. And I find that there's a lot of value for me in not having to go to Medium and not having to go offsite. And the apps, can you guys agree? The apps have made it so ridiculously uncomfortable to go to third-party sites. Like when you go to a messenger, you click on a messenger link into a third-party site, it's got to load, and then it opens up inside Messenger as opposed to maybe opening up in your Chrome app or something like that. And then Facebook
you lose that link. I mean, you can't. Where'd it go? I went and did something else. And And talking about notes, Carlos Gill, who will be at Social Media Marketing World, he's actually recommending in his sessions to do your blog on Facebook and notes. And that way you're not sending traffic off of Facebook, which I've been trying to test. It's just a little harder to do. And kind of figure out what's better, because he doesn't see that people are leaving Facebook to go to those links. It's better to keep the interaction.
No way. Look, we timed it out. We have a ClickFunnels campaign running. We're big believers in funnels, and our clients, we promote making video and then driving to landing pages. We do a lot of Facebook ads. But let me tell you, from the click to the ClickFunnels, right? So from they see the ad and they click on it, 8 seconds for that page to load. 8 seconds for the page to load. Whereas if you made a landing page or even a blog or content article in notes, in Facebook, it would open up. It opens up instantaneously. It's right there. And I think that Facebook does that on purpose to make it uncomfortable to leave the site.
Like we did a test sometime early last year comparing like YouTube links to Facebook video, because you remember in the old days YouTube videos used to play right there on Facebook. And now they don't. Now it's a link that you have to go to, so Facebook doesn't like it. And the reach on those was I forget the exact number, but it was so awful. Like Facebook just penalized. I don't use the word penalized, but they don't like them. So
I think neutered.
Links, they don't give them any neutered. There you go. Yeah, they don't give them any sort of like prevalence in the news feed, so it's not real surprising that notes would open fast and catch attention.
Hey, I want to give a big shout out to Jason Webster. Jason Webster is sort of one of my newer friends. He's been hanging out in the community, been watching a couple of the live streams. Bro, great to have you here. Remember, you can type 5 in the comment section right now if you're watching on Facebook that will subscribe you to the show. Jason Webster is saying Buddy Pine is the villain that's right, Buddy, right? If everybody's special, then no one is, right? So that's good. Jason Webster, glad to have you here. Mike Alton, love to see you. Can't wait to hang out with Mike Alton. Smartest guy in marketing, by the way, Mike Alton. Partnered up with Jen Herman, Stephanie Liu, and just about the smartest girls in social media. So that's amazing, Mike. Good to have you here. Glad you're here. If you're out there watching, remember, you can type 5 to subscribe, or you can share this video on your timeline right now. Invite your friends to come on in and even start a watch party. Why don't you? Start a watch party and be the smartest person on Facebook right now. Today, Scott, what are we talking about? We're talking about LinkedIn posts. Kind of give us the gist of what we're talking about.
Yeah, if you remember, we had Melanie Dodaro here on the live show about 2 weeks ago. You can actually go and find that and watch it. It was a great show. She had on an amazing hat. We looked good on that episode.
That was Hat Day, I think.
It was Hat Day. Yeah, it was. So on that one, we talked about and tested what type of LinkedIn post performed the best. Was it text only? Was it photo? Was it link post, text only posts, I think it was like 1,300% higher views than the other type of posts. And so now that we kind of know that, now it's like, okay, in the lab, how do we take that a step further? How do we use that now? So for this test, we tested
is behind all of this, and Agorapulse is, of course, a social media management software that will make your whole life easier. Scheduling posts, you can even upload video posts and schedule them to Instagram and LinkedIn using Agorapulse. Phenomenal software. So go to agorapulse.com right now to check them out. And here's my challenge to you. Even if you're with another company, even if you're using another software, go get a free trial of Agorapulse and compare and tell us what you think. We'd love to hear from you. Love to hear from you there. So Scott, you're back with us. You cut out for a little bit, but we were talking about.
It said it was your fault, so I don't know if it was my fault.
You've been blaming me since like 8 o'clock.
It said host lost connections. What it told me.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, who knows?
The blame game.
The internets do not like us today. Yeah.
Well, I told you it's raining in California, and when it rains in California, I tell you, just everything shuts. It's just complete. It's chaos. Right. It's like the day after tomorrow, right? 45 minutes in, people are screaming. You know, it's ankle high. Yeah. It's ankle high. You know, jeez Louise.
I'm here in Central Texas, and it's been like below freezing for a couple of days. So when that happens, it's like everybody's like, "Is school going to be out?" Like, it's just cold.
People are in their shorts. Yeah, they're in their shorts, right? It's not cold enough to like wear sweats all the time, but school's out, right? No. School's going to be canceled.
Oh, everybody was ready for it. Like, come on, please. My wife's a teacher. She's like, I hope school's late Monday. I'm like, why would it be late? It's just 25. It's not snowing. You know, but,
I know. Who knows?
Our East Coast friends will make fun of us.
I know. It's true. It's true. and hey, good for you for living on the East Coast. Like, I guess you were stuck there. I don't understand why people stay there. But it's you know, hey, if you're on the East Coast, what do you love about it? Tell us in the comment section below. All right, so let's talk about LinkedIn post length. This is very interesting to me. You know, I know that in my social media posts, I experiment with both. I'll share like a picture and tell an emotional story, right? Or I'll have a funny picture and then post like a one-liner, like, what do you think? Or I guess that sums it up. Right. And I see a lot of like parody sites doing this and news sites, but I don't get the same virality as they do, right? And maybe it's a reach thing. I'm not exactly sure. But when you did your study, you went into study to find out whether the long form or the short form actually performs better. And you actually went to the LinkedIn character count to kind of start there. So let's start in the very beginning and talk about what your study with OKDork and what happened there.
Yeah, you trying to find the hardest part sometimes our experiments is finding the backstory, like who else has talked about it, who else has tested it. OKDork, which I love. Pretty much everything OKDork puts out. They do a lot of really good research using their own accounts and others. And so they did a study, and they said long character count was better. And they even said 1,900 to 2,000 words performed the best and gained the greatest number of views, likes, comments, and shares. And so that kind of got me thinking, well, how will that work? How will that work on our pages that we're going to test? So that was kind of really my jumping point, was this OKDork chart that you're seeing there on the screen. Now, everything else that I looked for to try to find some background was more of, you know, what to post and how to post, and nothing really data driven. So OKDork was kind of our launching point with this study.
So what is the maximum amount of characters that you can have in a LinkedIn post?
I want to say it's 3,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I could be wrong on that. I think they keep changing it, so I want to say it's 3,000.
And we're talking about a character count here, folks. So it's one keystroke, right? Even a space is going to count as a character count. So from this, and by the way, we posted a link to this article for your records in the comment section, both on Facebook and on LinkedIn, on YouTube, sorry. And I want to give a big shout out to Lilytree, who's watching us on YouTube. Always great to see you, Lilytree. Big supporter of everything that we're doing on this show. So I'm going back to the article here, and we see that these longer character counts work. And they were saying between 1,900 and 2,000 words performed the best?
Right. Yeah, that was what OKDork was seeing. So we kind of, like I said, we use that as our launching point and kind of to base our hypothesis on.
Okay.
Was based on, like, it was the only other research that we could find out there was this study from OKDork.
So let's go into the hypothesis, because this is what I love about the Social Media Lab and what we're doing on this show, is that you're actually forming a scientific hypothesis. And a hypothesis says, your hypothesis for today says, LinkedIn posts with longer character count will have a higher number of views. So that was sort of the educated guess based on the research that you had found. And that's one thing that's so valuable about the Social Media Lab Live, is that this is a scientific test. So a hypothesis is really like a statement or a prediction, and then you're gonna run tests using the Agorapulse software to get hard data. And that's what I really love, because hard data, folks, should help you to make better decisions. You know, I always struggle when I hear marketers or business owners. I work with a lot of business owners, and Scott, you could probably relate to this, is they'll see hard data and say something like, well, that's okay, I'm gonna do it this way. How many of you guys have ever experienced that working with clients before? Maybe even yourself. You're like, well, I know live video's the thing, but I'm not doing live video, right? And I get that. Your hypothesis here, you know, we want to find out if this is true. If, in fact, longer form posts on LinkedIn will perform better. How did you test that, Scott?
Yeah, and hopefully video's not cutting out on you. Basically, what I did with this one, we like to use multiple profiles from multiple industries when we do most of these tests. And so I use the Agorapulse company LinkedIn page. Yep. That was the first one, obviously, because that's who I work for. And so we'll use that account. And the Agorapulse account has about 1,500 followers on LinkedIn when we ran the test here recently. The second one I used was somebody I've never used before. It's a company called the Brazos Group. And there's a wall between me and their offices right now. I rent my office from these guys.
Cool.
They're in the recruiting industry and specifically in the construction industry. And so kind of a niche type, business page, not a real big one. I think they got like 230 followers.
Okay.
But it kind of got us a chance to look at a different niche than we've ever looked at before. And then I use my own personal profile, which has about 9,000 connections. I don't know if we don't call those friends on LinkedIn. We call them connections. Yeah. And not followers. They're just connections. So I have about 9,000 on there. So that's the accounts I use. And then post-wise, I scheduled 14 of the shorter character posts and 14 of the longer character posts, and kind of spread that out over a 2-week period. I varied it up between the accounts. Some of them, one of the accounts had the short post early in the day, the other one had it late in the day. Yeah. So it kind of just went back and forth where we had a consistent amount of posts, the way someone couldn't say, well, on Tuesdays, that's your better day. So yeah, of course it was higher. So right. We kind of divided it up and kind of alternated between, and we use Agorapulse, of course, to schedule them, because you can do that with our app. And
this is one post per day.
No, these are different. Yeah. One short post per day, one long post per day.
Okay. All right.
So it was kind of a mix of both. We ran that for 2 weeks. On the short post, I kept those to under 140 characters, kind of a high five to the old Twitter character link. Because that tends to be what you can consume on a mobile device, especially, is at 140 characters. That kind of keeps you quick. It keeps you from, I think, seeing the whole see more link when you're on LinkedIn, if you're on the mobile app. And the posts, the short posts were like quotes, like famous quotes from motivational speakers or business people, or questions. Like one of the questions was, if you could read one book for your entire life, what would it be? Yeah. Or 8 hours at work today, did you work more or less? So yeah, that's
let's take a look at those. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's some out there. You can just to kind of see if we could get some engagement, but also kind of thinking like what you would post in a short amount on LinkedIn. And what I see is people like Melanie getting a lot of engagement with. She asks a lot of questions. Yeah. She's constantly to try to get people and hook them in and get them to come in and talk to you on her account. So that was kind of what the short posts look like. The long post kind of varied a little bit in the character length. There wasn't an exact I used. Most of them are going to be over 1,000. Okay. And so just kind of dependent on the actual post. I use portions of blog posts, like the Agorapulse one. Yeah. I took out tips from the blog. Great. And just kind of broke it up into individual posts.
And there's no really links.
Long that way. No links whatsoever, no videos, no photos, just flat out text video, text only.
Yeah.
And then for the Brazos group, because they are in the recruiting and hiring industry, I use tips on, how to get a job, what you should do in your first day of work. And then I also posted some job postings and text only on there. So it was kind of a very natural. It wasn't like I was posting stuff different than they might already have been posting before. And I think that's key too. When you're doing any of these tests, you want it to be as natural as possible. Someone asked us that last week on the show. It's like, well, you're posting different stuff. Is that going to skew the results? And that's the hardest thing to try not to do.
Right.
And so I try to keep it as close to the type of content that's been posted before, but tweaking it for, obviously, typically the Brazos group wasn't posting this long form, posts. They're posting links to jobs, or I actually have written blogs for them and put them on Medium and stuff. So that's typically what they've done. But so it's a little bit different in that aspect of it. And I did similar on my own account. I posted, like one of them was, how do you measure success on social media?
Yeah.
And I kind of posted part. It was all from blogs, from Agora polls.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I use. And I let all that sit for about 2 weeks after they went live. That way they kind of had a chance to kind of mull it over and get the most juice out of them as we possibly could.
Yeah, that's great stuff. And I want to get into those results in just a quick second. But first, I want to ask the audience any questions on the study. So we did 2 posts per day for 2 weeks, long form and short form. Most of the short form were really asking questions or comments. So those are naturally going to get a certain type of engagement. If you guys have questions for Scott, ask them in the comment section. We'd love to dig in with you. And I see we got a question from Sarah Monroe. Sarah Monroe, by the way, who's logging in from frigid New England, I think is what she said.
I think so. Yeah.
Why would you live there? I don't know. And we've got Melissa here. Melissa, who is doing all the button pressing on our show today. She's our producer. She's phenomenal. She's from Rhode Island. Right. And she came out to sunny California to hang out with me and the beach. Right. She came out here to be the world's greatest producer. So she made the choice to move, guys. She's a pioneer. I don't understand it. But Sarah Monroe is asking question about duplicate content on LinkedIn. It has been a long time since I used LinkedIn publishing or Facebook notes to copy blog posts as a test for audience engagement. At that time, Google didn't penalize the duplicate content. Is this still the case if we want to publish a chunk of a blog to these other sites? Okay, so what Sarah's asking then is the rule about duplicate content, and this is if Google senses that your content exists on a blog, but also on LinkedIn and also on Twitter, you could be penalized for it. That's certainly the SEO, the world of SEO that I grew up in. But a lot of things have changed. Scott, what can you say about duplicate content? And this is a great question because you're pulling content from content that already exists on another blog. Are you being penalized for that? Is that hurting your reach or is it hurting your SEO value?
It's a great question. I don't have exact data to kind of give you a scientific opinion on it, or conclusion, but I do know I asked Carlos, or somebody asked Carlos Gill this in a session at Digital Summit I went to, and he was talking about the whole Facebook note thing. He said during that session, there's no penalty. So I'm going off of that. That's something I can really base it on. Now you probably need to talk to someone who is an SEO expert to kind of see if it does, but I don't think the way the Google crawlers kind of work now and how quick they refresh, I don't think it does. But again, I don't have a scientific data to back it up. I just have someone's opinion. Yeah. And so I didn't see a problem with doing it, and I see a lot of others that do. You were talking about Mark Schaefer. I think he's doing it on both. So if someone like him and Carlos are doing it, I'm kind of more apt to go ahead and take that chance. And
on Facebook, you're really scot-free because, pun intended, because it's the results aren't going to show up in Google. So Google's not crawling inside of Facebook. So you're going to be really safe there. Do LinkedIn post results appear in Google searches?
That's a good question. Somebody should search and see. I've never noticed it before.
I think maybe like the Pulse articles will show up in search. Maybe like the Pulse articles.
Yeah, because you can do those you can actually, like Gary Vee's doing, you can write those blog posts on there, so they might. But your updates, I don't think your updates would.
I don't think so either. I think it's a password protected. And I think about the tech giants, right? Sure, they all share rent in the same Mountain View, compound that they're in NorCal, but are they really, is LinkedIn really want Google bots inside of their their network and their platform in discovering algorithms and data? That's, I would think no. In fact, I remember when Twitter results became, searchable in Google, that was a big thing, right? Because they were like the first to allow that to happen. So great question, Sarah Monroe. We're glad you're out there. If you're just joining us, we're talking about LinkedIn posts, which work better, text posts that are long, text posts that are short. Of course, this is part 2 of a study we started 2 weeks ago with Melanie Dodaro, where we discovered that text posts on LinkedIn actually outperform video, image, and live video, which is very, very, very brand new. Big shout out to Chris Strub there. He knows why. Before we go into the data, I want to ask you one more question. Did these posts that you ran for this 14-day period, did they get more or less engagement than your normal posts that you're not testing, or did the consistent posting 2 times per day, did that maybe improve your engagement at all as well?
It was about the same. I didn't see any jump necessarily. I know in the Agora Pulse account, for example, we always post to that consistently. The Brazos group probably did have a jump because they hadn't posted very consistently over time. It was kind of funny. Even I forgot to tell the guy Joey, who might be listening to me through this very thin wall right now. He was like, "Hey, someone's posting our LinkedIn account. Is that you?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I'm running a test on your page." And so it was kind of funny. And he was actually telling me yesterday people are still seeing that content and commenting on it. So. And this was a couple of months ago. So I don't know. Now, again, that's one of those things where you kind of got to worry about that. But also, I think that's why I like to run them at least 2 weeks. That way we just take an average of all those posts during testing to kind of weigh them back and forth. Right. That way, because the algorithm, the way it works, it's going to quickly refresh. And so we should have some sort of median. It would be interesting. It would be interesting to go in and kind of compare the original, the first short post to the last. You can actually, if you go over to that blog post, there's a link at the bottom. You can actually grab my spreadsheet and actually see that. Oh, that's great. And if you kind of want to draw some of your own conclusions there, it wasn't one that I was looking at, so that is a great one to kind of think about. But there's a little banner at the bottom. You can grab the data, and it goes right to the Google spreadsheet that I use to. And those links, the link to the article, guys, is in the comment section, so you can go and you can grab that now. And hey, while you're doing that, share this video on your timeline right now and invite your friends to come and be a part of the conversation. Seriously, one of the best shows on Facebook Live for marketers is this show right here. Scott's laughing. The best hair and beard for sure. Yeah. It's true, dude. Orange beard. That would be killer. Yeah, you got. I mean, you might get a raise if you do that. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about your data, because the data, so you ran these tests on LinkedIn, 3 different accounts, 2 different types of posts per day for 14 days. And let me just give the audience sort of like a filter, because we're about to get nerdy on y'all right now. So with the data, what you did is you gathered up the views and the engagement, and you tallied all of those. And then based on those numbers, you filtered even one more step to just look at what was the overall long and the overall short form results. So guys, get ready for some nerd data right now. Scott, walk us through the data from the LinkedIn posts. All right, so we'll talk about Agora Pulse's page first. And when we talk about views and impressions, if you get into LinkedIn data, they look at views and impressions on the personal profile and the business page a little bit different. We just kind of put them together because everything I can find says they're the same. So we're just kind of looking at them as the same. So you can see it here on your screen. The short posts got 203.5 views. Likes were 0.93. Comments 1.36 on average, and shares 1.71 shares on average. If you look at the long, you can see there on each one of them, except for the likes, there's a drop. Views were 197.43, likes 1.36, comments were just like 0.07, so almost nothing basically, and shares were 1.07 per post on the long post. So that's kind of from there. And then if we go with the Brazos group, we have that one to pull up. Okay, before you go on, explain to me the 38.86. This is percentage of their network? No, it's just an average per post. It's an average. So got it. Okay, and so you average them all together. Got it. And average them together. That way we kind of have a number to play around with. So you took 14 short form posts, right?
one per day for 14 days, and then tallied those and then averaged those.
Right.
Such nerd data. That's amazing. I mean, that's the kind of data we dream about, right? I dream about being that type of marketer, you know. But at the end, I wake up as a piss and win kind of guy. Excuse the expression, but it's like, let's just go break stuff and see what happens. You know what I mean?
And sometimes, you excuse my expression, sometimes I'm in spreadsheet hell. So
yeah. It flips. The tables, how the turntables have turned. So no, it's good. I love it. I love it. So all right. So please continue. So my Owen disruption there.
Braz's group, we see 38.86 views on average for the short post, 0.57 for the likes, no comments, and just 0.29 shares on the short post on average. We go over the long. We actually, their views went up 45.29.
Wow.
The likes were the same, 0.57. Comments were the same. There were 0. The shares were actually a little bit higher, 1.36. And the reason I think the shares were probably higher, a couple of job postings in there on the long, so people are probably sharing those job postings. So that's my guess is why those were a tad bit longer. Now we go over to my personal profile, which it has, like I said, 9,000 connections. So out of all the accounts we looked at, and I'm going to take a drink. Hang on.
Yeah, please. And while he's doing that, folks, let us know. I'd love to know, how often are you on LinkedIn? Are you on LinkedIn often? Let us know. And if you're watching on the replay, type replay in the comments. We actually look for the replay comments so we can go back and say hello. And if you're enjoying the show, you can type 5, give me 5 in the comment section on Facebook. That will subscribe you to the show. So please continue there, Scott.
Yeah, so real quick, let's jump through mine. My average views for short were 300.47. Likes were 0.87, comments 0.27, no shares. Long posts got on average 234.07 views.
Wow.
Likes 0.64, comments 0.14, so not a whole lot of interaction, and then 0 shares, this is why I was looking at views and impressions more than anything, because I wanted to see if that did anything. More people saw it, more people tapped
It's eyeballs. It's eyeballs. It's your billboard.
Yeah.
I know for me, like, we run ads, we run video ads. And it's frustrating because we'll run on Instagram. We do a lot of retargeting. How many of you guys do retargeting actively? Okay. Retargeting is amazing. But, we get frustrated when we see a retargeting ad only has a few likes or comments on it. But really, that's vanity. It's really the eyeballs, because we knew, it's like, when you start the ads that your objective is just billboard eyeballs, right? Remember the billboards? I'm from SoCal, billboards everywhere. You just want people seeing your brand. You know what I mean? And it's brand recognition. It's a bunch of stuff, but it's hard to kind of like, only 3 people have liked this, because the eyeballs that are seeing it are seeing only 3 people have liked it. You know what I mean? And you start to get sort of tripped out by it. How many of you guys have experienced that, by the way? Let me know in the comment section. Would love to hear from you guys. So I get the views thing, because it's about how many people you were in front of.
Yeah, and for me, and a lot of these, when we're looking at these organic tests, especially, these are organic. We weren't paying for ads or anything on them. We want to look at how can the other businesses out there kind of use the data. I might be this crazy, Owen video type guy who's got this massive following and get a lot of engagement, when I post my selfie live videos walking around my neighborhood.
Right.
But the shoe store around the corner doesn't have that.
Right.
But so the engagement sometimes can be misleading when you look at that. And I don't like people to use that as their metrics to evaluate, because it's so contingent on the type of page you are. But views and impressions are a little bit more normal. I can go, okay, well, you're getting that sort of percentage over this, and I can apply that to you. So that's why I like to look at reach, views, impressions, and I'm looking at all these accounts organically, because that typically to me translates over to everyone, where the likes and the comments and the shares might not, because you might be a really boring product that nobody wants to share.
Yeah.
You're the insurance agent.
Yeah.
No one's sharing the insurance agent's links.
Yeah. But
they still want to get in front of people. And so I think that's why we look at those numbers.
The cure for toe fungus, right, is not a shareable. It's not a shareable post. You really have to look into the science of virality. And, my good friends, Bryce, I'm blanking on his partner's name. I apologize for that. But Bryce Jergy, he's now doing more like full-time YouTube stuff. But sharing is virality. It's like, it's the science of sharing. It's why people will go, I've got to show that to Bill or George. And it's not even really like, I'm going to share this on my timeline, right? People share stuff on their timeline like a TED Talk, not because they loved the TED Talk, but because they want you to think that they loved the TED Talk, you know, and there's great science behind that, right? Also, you know, people are sharing more like one-on-one or 1 to 5, like they're sharing with like a family thread as opposed to because it reminds of a family inside jokes. It's really tapping in on sort of that thing. And so we've got some of this this data here that I want to get to, but we're having some comment blow-ups here in the comment section right now. Lily Tree is on YouTube. She says, I use LinkedIn as a CV more to prove that I exist more than anything else, but I don't do B2B, so it's not my priority platform. I don't know what a CV is, but I guess it's a resume?
A resume, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
what does that mean, CV?
It's don't get me. Get her to ask.
Yeah, I know. She's like, it's called this. And then what else do we have? Robert Stern is logging in. Good to see you, Robert. He's on LinkedIn every day. He tries to post every day.
Yes.
Sarah Monroe is saying, well, it will be St. Patrick's Day. So magically, oh, she's talking to someone. Sorry. So magically delicious. Okay. I'm like, what the heck is she? Talk about drunk in the morning, folks. I get it.
It's East Coast. She's already at lunchtime.
Yeah, totally. What else is there? She's snowed in, right? She's snowed in. She's got one of these houses. Seen these houses in like Wisconsin where there's a door on the 3rd floor, but there's nothing. There's like no stairway down. It's like, why would you live there? You know, if that happens. Naomi is in. Naomi's so great to see you. She logs in every single week. She says, I check LinkedIn every day, but I don't post nearly enough. When I go to LinkedIn, and it's our quarter 2 priority. When I go to LinkedIn, I'm like, I don't know what to do first. Curriculum vitae is what a CV is. So now we know. So Scott, you've got all this data, all right, from these 3 different pages. It's mind-blowing data. You distilled it down even further.
Yeah. So we to make a conclusion, we had to combine the averages from all 3 accounts. Mm-hmm. And so on the short post, and we already got to the answer there, basically, we'll go ahead and get to the answer. You can see there on the screen, short text on LinkedIn resulted in 13.85% higher views per post compared to the long post. Yeah. So that was against my hypothesis, against what OK Dork said it would happen. I was a little shocked by it, to be honest with you. I thought the long form stuff would do better, but 13% more views on the shorter character linked post on LinkedIn seems to be what the data is saying is better. Even when you look at the likes and comments, the likes were almost even, especially they weren't getting a lot. The comments were much higher, even though it's a small amount. Like here, they didn't all they got less than 1 comment per post, but it was still a lot higher than the longer posts. So that's something to kind of look at, that, if they're going to be typically more engaging, because shorter posts tend to be quicker to read. They're usually questions, or what are you doing? Or, who do you recommend for this? Like I did on Facebook, we're talking about LinkedIn, but on Facebook the other day, I needed an electrician. We just remodeled a house.
I saw that. Yeah.
And so I posted, hey, who knows an electrician? Boom. Somebody within like an hour gave me, her husband he was an electrician, which I didn't know he was. He was my daughter's 3rd grade teacher a couple years ago. He came to my house yesterday, fixed it in 2 hours, and he was done.
That's crazy.
And so those short things like that are what people want to engage with more, I think, even on LinkedIn, according to our data.
Yeah, and it makes sense to me, because the short form, you're going to be asking more questions, or, like you mentioned quotations. And the other day I posted a quote. It was a great quote. Fate whispers to the warrior, you cannot withstand the storm. The warrior whispers back, I am the storm. Right? Great quote, sends chills. But I got a lot of comments on it, like, oh, that lit my fire. Oh, I just got chills. I feel like quotations, as short as they are, they can be, they inspire, and that's why they were found on a quote book or on a quote website. And then, the questions, I mean, it's a natural engagement thing where, on the longer form posts, you're going to get a natural TLDR, right? Do you guys know what that means? Right. TLDR. Let me know in the comment section if you know.
They were banned in the 90s, right? TLC, TL. Yeah. I don't want no scrubs.
Died in a car crash. The Illuminati in Mexico. It's this big thing. It's so funny. It's funny that you say that. I was just thinking the other day, like, we should play some TLC songs at my house. And then I was like, what am I talking about? Right? It's these weird thoughts that come into your head. You know, whereas the longer form posts, I know for me, I have to be in a mood to read those, right? Or it has to be somebody great. Like someone like Dennis Yu, Jeremy Vest, right? Because I know these guys personally. I love their stories. So I really engage with those posts. But when I was a kid, it's like, oh, dear Lord. Like, I'm on LinkedIn right now, you know? I will also say this. I would love to hear if you guys agree or disagree. Because I'm not a LinkedIn superstar, but we want to move into that space. When I want LinkedIn, I like LinkedIn more when it functions more like Facebook. And I know the LinkedIn gurus hate that. They hate that younger people are coming onto the site and it's becoming more like a Facebook. But when the content is more social, right? We've got like Judy Fox. How many of you guys know Judy Fox? Fox Rocks, right? She does these, like, she wears wigs on LinkedIn and she does really crazy face filters, right? She'll do a Snapchat face filter, then re-upload it to LinkedIn. And these video posts do very well for her. We're talking thousands upon thousands of views, right? There's no logical reason why these should make sense on a LinkedIn, but the reason is when it's more fun, people engage more. And all these business posts, I mean, there's obviously a place for that in sort of that corporate bit, that older crowd, but I think that the younger crowd is liking more social type activities. Scott, am I wrong? Am I right? What do you think about that?
I think you're in line with that. I think that's why you're seeing LinkedIn allow apps do different things. Like I know we just added the ability in Agorapulse to tag people.
Yeah.
So you can tag other people when you're scheduling out your content. And then you can do video now on LinkedIn. They're introducing live video. Chris Strubb, I saw his live video. He's already playing around with. So I think LinkedIn's trying to get, because we think it's all B2B. It's not all B2B over there. There's a lot of customers over there. A lot of people who are consumers, especially in this social media business space that we're in. And a lot of people who are B2B, even if it is 100% B2B, they're all younger, getting younger.
Yeah.
It's not just a bunch of 50-year-old gray-head guys, on LinkedIn. It's guys in their 30s, their 20s who are now out of college and have a job.
And we don't want to be bored. We don't want to be bored on social media. We're going to have fun. When all the conversations, I go into my LinkedIn message thread and it's just like, I would like to present you an opportunity.
I hate that part.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me too. And I think it's kept me off the platform. But like when I see more Fox Rocks, and don't get me wrong, guys, like at my core, I'm all business. Like I think my close friends really know that. But that's my personal growth life. It's like I'm taking a break to market myself and to like present a brand. And so I want to have more fun. And so I like that LinkedIn is getting more fun. What do you guys think? Should LinkedIn be more fun or more professional? Love to hear your comments on that, especially for those of you that think that more professional is more fun. Maybe there's some of you out there. So let us know in the comment section below. If you're just joining us, the results are in. LinkedIn posts longer form. Your hypothesis was wrong. Shorter form text posts. Read that. Read our conclusion again one more time.
Yeah, so short text posts on LinkedIn resulted in 13.85% higher views when we compared it to long posts on LinkedIn.
Beautiful. Guys, so keep it short. Sprinkle that in there. Doesn't mean your long form won't get viewed. It just means, hey, think about your short form strategy. I know for me, what I'm walking away with is this. I am going to go to our team meeting is tomorrow. I am going to make a list for my or Friday. Melissa looked at me. She's like, what? I can't be there, Our team meeting is on Friday, and I'm going to have my VA schedule 14 short form posts to go out on our one per day for the next 2 weeks. And let's see, because we're still in a place of experimenting with LinkedIn and finding out what works for us. What will you do with the data you learned today? Let us know in the comment section below, and tag someone that is rocking LinkedIn or should rock LinkedIn with you. So we will see you guys in the next couple weeks. We got to get out of here today. We'll see you at Social Media Marketing World. Scott, any final words?
come find me at Social Media Marketing World. Take a picture, and let's have fun.
We'll see you guys there. Any moment now. Are we waiting? Is it just going to pop up? Okay. I got to get my timing down for that one. We'll see you guys next week. Or in 2 weeks. 3, 2,
Thank you for
and
watching
now.
the Social Media Lab, brought to you by Agorapulse, where we use science to crack the social media code. Join us live on Facebook and YouTube to find out what's working and what's not working in social media.